I think ultimately, Hanwha Life Esports have set themselves up a terrifying team fighting composition, and the DN Freecs, a little bit of power towards that bottom side of the map, some skirmishing strength in the Pantheon Ari, take the cannon here as well, delivered there by Delight.
Even then, that's what, like 12?
Yeah, no, it's a big lead. pyosik also able to put some pressure on here towards the bottom side. Flash comes through, the exhaust is down as snip goes Dudu, and the flash comes down, and the charged up Q from pyosik locks up the first blood. So we were talking about some bullying. That's why you call your cousin. He comes over and he helps out. Being harassed, as long as he can fight back, should be an opportunity here. Zeus missing a bit of the CS, but wants to desperately pick up this crash, and will be able to do so. Peanut will collect the dragon very, very early on in this game. We haven't seen a lot of very early dragons, only alive for 2.5 minutes.
From DNF. That is where they had their biggest improvement against KT, where pyosik and Life actually look to be on the same page. But it's also been where they have completely fallen apart. We might see one of those here. It looks like mid lane not allowed to roam. Bulldog being kept in that lane. Yeah,
Tanglebarbs come through here from Life, as that is Peanut locking down one of these. Bulldog going to get thrown away by the Emperor's Divide. Zeka not going to have that for the skirmish.
Chin assault.
So does Peanut, but he throws it away. pyosik comes down as Zeka trying to leave. It's two grubs going over to HLE, but they may lose their mid laner for it. As flash out from Zeka, he holds onto the button and he knows the pyosik was looking for that one. Of course, they have a bit of experience together. To win, sometimes they're just not going to really worry too much about the result. That's what we saw at the beginning of this week. Maybe this is like a wellness week, you know, where they're just not really focusing on the scrims. It's all about, they've been pampering. They're going to the spa,
They're going to that stuff. They've been they were up a mountain yesterday to enjoy the view.
Exactly. It's all about hitting that Zen state.
Before summer sets in.
Out at the moment, and Life has to go back, and he sells it as, Dudu going to be pushed away here by Zeka, who says, no, I would prefer it if we didn't do that. The other Pantheon is now going to look for him, but I think Zeka has made it far enough and is going to be okay. So far, the first petal we see immediately taken and prioritized.
Very good. The old statement of if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. If Zeka is TPing back into a turret that is definitely under heavy siege, because you do have one of the characters that's probably the worst out of anyone.
All right, Dudu. Going a bit aggressive. It's a preemptive exhaust. An early flash there from Zeus as well, but they're committing to this dive. pyosik taking so much damage. He's dead. And that was not the dive that we wanted to see. Last time around, it went well. This time, the God of Thunder is going to strike.
Just take the exit, man. Yeah, you do. Well,
yeah, sometimes you got to gracefully take the L.
We just, you know, you can't. Sorry, I'm having a hard time with this. Yeah. There was a very clear.
As it turns out, he could.
Yeah, there was a very clear exit. Right there is
There's a flash forward from Delight. Picks them up with the Magnet Storm there as well. Zeus, no ulti, but no worries there. As the curtains have been called. One more bullet. And not going to land, as Berserker will survive. Fancy footwork, and of course, a little bit easier when you get to strut your stuff, but nicely done. As Viper just wandering past this turret with that fourth bullet at the ready. That and a grenade probably was the end of Berserker there.
Yeah. Even after that, you can still peace out.
pyosik's been playing for a while. Maybe he thought that he was the Pantheon that could dodge turret shots. It's not sort of the way it is. Once again, Zeus is just going to make them look silly on his cannon. Dudu still looking to chase after him. We'll see whether the stun is going to come through. It is going to be there, but finally, the rest of the cavalry turns up, and Bulldog will be able to take them down, but not after the cost. Like, it is a 1-for-1 trade, and turret falls down in mid, turret falls down in the bottom lane.
This is still up 630 gold. He traded 1-for-1.
Okay.
Dudu is definitely not going to survive this.
We're Hex flashing. Viper is going to be able to lock him down.
That's Otacon.
Yeah, that is Otacon. That is a dead Gwen, and that is starting to look like a real advantage that HLE has in this game.
DN Freecs, he's on a mission.
All for this.
Oh, he is ready. They do not know. I mean, he's Pantheon though, so I assume they're gonna. Yeah, like it doesn't really matter where he is, and they're just not gonna go for it anyway. Would have been cool though, but I don't think realistically he makes it there. So
I think the idea of not going in was definitely one of his better choices.
Well, but they should have done that earlier. If you're gonna not go in.
Hey, you've got to celebrate learning from your mistakes, Chronicler, okay? you can look at things two ways, right? And
Notoriously,
fine.
I think rhyming, the more important part is
It's
the end of the word.
It is the end, you're right. Okay, Zeka is going to find some air here, and pyosik will be able to lock him down. Still, life is just dead. How does Zeka go in for just a straight-up air ball?
Atlas.
And then the rest of his team's there to, oh, never mind, it was an alley-oop. No, it's fine.
Atlas, clearly he was ulting for zone control, okay?
To a different dimension, one that has made slightly different choices.
Okay, I think multiverse, that's like kind of, I know it's adjacent, but I feel like it's not quite the same.
Really? All right. Well, Bulldog is going to look for something. Doesn't really find an angle here. A soul point on the table for HLE. There is the exit of the jungler, though, so Peanut going to make this not a 50-50. This is, in fact, a let's just leave type scenario for DNF, and they do get the memo that that's precisely what they should do. But that is still going to be soul point going over to HLE, and it's to run away quickly after his thing. So it's cool.
Yeah, Atlas, I know you're the #1 Cloud Soul salesman, but I think we just focus on the fact that Kennen and Rel are the team.
If you got to only choose one Dudu's dead, by the way, guys. He just wasn't actually able to do anything, and then died. I don't think that really... We didn't need to talk too much about it. No, Kennen is so broken. As Peanut finds just a small sliver of wall, and that is going to get both summoner spells out of Berserker. Like, right on the edge. That wall was broken as well. It was broken just a little bit further up. But 5 versus 6?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not the graph.
All right, the graph has come up. It's a bad news story. Although it's a much earlier Infinity Edge for Berserker, he is still relatively powerful.
Oh shit, come on, you can do this.
Yeah, there is a very scary Kennen off on a flank angle as 3.5k is approaching on the Baron. HLE looking for the turn, not wanting to make this a 50-50 unless Peanut just evicts pyosik from the area. And the ulti going to miss this time around. HLE going to get engaged on. Great Pop Blossom there from Life as the bullet time comes in. The steal from pyosik as well, as Peanut will be taken down as the first kill, and HLE are just scattering. Bulldog will not find the charm, and pyosik will not find anyone. Magnustorm is going to connect us now. Zeus just eviscerates Berserker in the backline. Delight and Zeus just saving this team fight by themselves, while Viper is taking the rest of them for a walk. Yeah, the teleport going to come in as Zeus looking to make his way forward. They sacrifice Viper as once again, yeah, playing for utility, ladies and gentlemen. They're looking to complete the aces. Another wanting to hold them in position. No! pyosik going to say no to the pentakill, but yes to the ace. As comically, so many of these buttons go wide, and Zeka will be able to pick that one up. So no more Barons left here for DNF.
I respect the pyosik. A teammate can give a penta.
Will answer by not getting hit by any of them. This is Cloud Soul, ladies and gentlemen. HLE going to be real speedy on this one. The flank angle kind of scary as Peanut zoning with the ult and picks up the dragon.
Oh no.
Yeah. Zeus not even on a flank angle here. Speaking of flanks
as well.
Okay, pyosik looking for an opportunity. They want to dive onto Viper yet again, but look at this. HLE, they just regroup. Get back into position, and they're not going to be taking him down this time. Dudu, he might be the one that's in trouble, though. Out of the mist and out of options, and that is Zeka that's going to lock him down. Zeus looking for more as well, as Berserker needing to run away. The Mark of the Storm is on him, and Zeus will be following him up. There's the flash, and there's also the Deadly Flourish from Viper, perfectly aimed. Imagine if Berserker wasn't against Cloud Soul when he was trying to run away there. Maybe Strut was going to be enough.
It is such a crazy thing to me, because even with the Cloud Soul, looking at the gold, DN Freecs have been remarkably close throughout the entire...
Yeah, it's not even a 3,000 gold lead, even now.
Yeah, Clocks.
Clocks, yeah, that's...
Wait, you know the scientists though, right? That's the...
I know a few of them. Who's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite.
Are you a Galileo guy? I feel like he doesn't get enough recognition. As he was also a bit of a philosopher. As we've got a inhibitor turret taken down here. And the inhibitor soon to follow. Delight, will he find an angle? There's the flash forward. You could tell he was looking for it as Bulldog just going to burn down. Zeus will find another double kill. Let's see whether this time the Penta is... Never mind, it's not happening. Viper just says goodnight to life. And in fact, Zeus is dead, but he is still going to get the last laugh. As the crash down on top of Dudu slammed into his own Nexus, and pyosik just going to have to watch As never mind, he might just die. Is Zeka gonna go golden, making him look a little bit silly at the end of this one. Flashes away, and there it is. The ace is completed, and HLE will find this game 1 victory, even though it looked like the gold was close throughout the entirety of this game. It felt like things were just slipping out of the grasp of the DN Freecs from quite early on in this one, and HLE will do it in game 1.
Then Vladimir obviously just wants to play for either team fights or side lane threat, depending on what build you go, depending on what the game state is. But he can be really good in both those, but Vladimir does struggle with getting kited. Yeah, I feel like you pick Trundle and they pick Xayah and Ornn, and you're like, well, I don't know why he would do that, but thank you, I guess.
Yep. Viper is now trying to bounce away from Berserker. There are a lot of sticks in this guy, as the bailout just perfectly timed. And Berserker will be able to grab the duo kill up against Viper here. Felt like it was close, but in the end it was not, and Delight unable to actually keep Viper alive.
Right?
It's going to help reinforce the DN Freecs 8-minute stats. Because as you can see here, once again, it is an 8-minute gold lead. They are really living up to their reputation of laning well, playing out the early game well. They've got decent plans that are in place. It's just navigating the rest of the game that has seemed difficult for this squad. As Peanut going to be taking the remaining 2 grubs here. And Pyosik already with one of them. So no huge advantage to be gained, but it is going to be 2 objectives as far as the feats of strength are concerned for HLE.
By himself?
Yeah, this is the problem, yeah.
Or Thanos, or whichever is your preferred bad guy.
Yeah, he can snap his fingers or whatever. I like the Yu-Gi-Oh reference. I think Exodia is the way. As Bulldog is going to move on over here, Zeka is going to find him, throwing some justice via a punch into him. Pyosik's still just getting to work on this Infernal Drake, though, as Peanut is going to come on over. This will be the fight starting. Chains of Corruption down as they are targeting the Soraka, but the Fate's Call going to be there. The Wish just in time to get Peanut out of danger. And now the taunt comes through. Justice Punch, gorgeous from Zeka, and a double kill for Zeus. This is exactly what the DN Freecs could not afford to happen. And my God, I could say that this is probably the best composition to have when a Chemtech Soul is revealed. Yeah, well, Dudu and Zeka are doing battle down here, okay? Whilst you're molding, we've got a very serious fight on our hands. And Zeka is going to move out of the way. The DN Freecs will be able to collect themselves the Rift Herald.
Doesn't have 2 items yet. Berserker's still strong. You can do this, DNF. You can bring us to that game 6. I believe in you. Pyosik, they don't know you're there!
All right, well, Pyosik is going to be discovered, but now the value of the Galio comes in. The Wukong able to get out those Warrior Trickster comes on through, and now there is a Hemomancer in amongst everyone. Dudu trying to be that frontline as Delight just gets in there with a massive knockup. Viper having to flash away as the huge taunt comes through from Zeka, being an absolute hero. There is going to be Zeus going down. That's a raid boss removed, as I've seen this movie before, and it is going to be both of them dying. Soul Point still goes over to HLE.
And even despite the Delight Ambulance, Berserker and Viper trade 1 for 1, but it's Peanut that's alive for healing, so we'll see.
Well, this is a full commitment to the Otacon.
Zeka just TP'd to top.
He did. He does have the heroic entrance, but he is a long way away. He's out of range for now. Let's see what can actually occur from this one. It's down to 3,000. Peanut could get in for a potential steal, but it's not going to happen. Arcane Storm now just zoning them away, and HLE just going to have to exit.
That would be ahead by like 1,000 gold, and then 5 to 10 minutes later, they would be down 5,000 gold. Very consistently.
Well, we're moving towards that because these turrets are just kind of...
It's 2. It's fun. It's 2.5.
Yeah,
and really cool because that's how I end up with a great pair of inline skates.
That is
I
true.
just have.
I do just tend to... Yeah, I tend to just make purchases because I think that might be a cool thing to do. And
well, again,
about the need.
I'm happy. You know, they've been great. We've had a good time skating together. It's been fun.
And is going to be able to knock away the Galio. The Baron has spawned right at the nick of time as Berserker will take out the outer turret in the mid lane. HLE a little bit out of position here as that wave is going to go wanting. And now they get control over this area.
Oh, he's coming in early. Dudu knows.
Yep, teleport to come through. Flank angle there for Zeus at the same time, but this dragon is very low. There are the knockups. as Peanut comes on through, and the Justice Punch is good. It is going to be the Drake secured by Hanwha Life Esports. Is into the back line, goes Zeus. Hemo Plague explosion is gigantic, and Chemtech soul value is absurd. Viper able to utilize it as he cuts down the remainders, but he's the last man standing now. Pyosik and Dudu, can they deal with this Kalista? That's the question as the Rensets come in. The last remaining bit of damage is taken out
Oh, no!
as he's desperately trying to hop over this wall.
He accidentally
and he just
hopped
lets
over.
Dudu live.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, based on his move, and I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to do the one hop over the wall.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna spear back. That also didn't work.
Wait a second. Now it's the opportunity, as Roar the Slayer does come through, so I don't think
No, there's Warden's Melt, there's Unending.
He's pretty good at that. You
win.
do lose a lot of that zone
You have
of
to win the Elder
Chemtech value. As, all right, Peanut not able to quite find the avenue in here, but Berserker is also going to get taken towards that bailout very, very quickly. The Wish comes on through, and the Soraka very, very happy with having that extra healing available here. As HLE continue to push forward, Pyosik trying to stay stealthy.
That's what it is, so instead we're going to try and play. I think maybe an earlier ult could have made the difference there from Life, but...
Dudu and Pyosik are going to try and kill Zeus here. That was a lot of health that he got back.
He has Chemtech Soul.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he was holding the pull as well.
He has Chemtech Soul.
And Viper is now over here. Pyosik is already dead. Zek is teleporting in. It's a bit of a celebration here by the looks. Everyone wants to be around as the zombie pops up, and Dudu and Pyosik, absolutely nothing they could do. Chemtech Soul, Vladimir, level 18, 3.5 items. Just no. Like, you're not gonna do anything.
I'm just a little sad, Atlas. I'm taking a moment to
fair enough.
accept that what we wanted today might not happen.
Be taking a moment as well. Never mind. He made it to 50% health, where Immortality just decides that it wants to pop in.
You know?
Yeah.
You're a monkey. You're Wookiee. You're just living your best life.
Yeah, you're like, oh, 2v1, we got this. And then you're like, oh, geez.
This horrifying bloodbender shows up, and you're like, we can take him out. And then he doesn't, and he turns into a puddle.
Elder Flip!
Well, is it really? I guess it is a flip.
It's a flip.
Yeah, no, Pyosic's here. They can win.
Unless Viper gets loads and loads of sticks in.
Atlas, no, it's fine. They're going to mistime it. It's really hard to actually do this well. They're going to flip.
Well, he's hopping around a lot. They managed to get the Baron from
the Giga Cone.
last time around. Is, oh, dearie me. Viper going to have to use everything to get himself out. He gets the Soraka out as well. As into the back line they go, and oh my god, they used him as bait! The entire time over the wall goes Peanut, and Pyosik just reeling after this one. He gets into the pit, but it's not going to work. And Viper, he didn't even make it to that 50% threshold. He just got himself out of there, took his Soraka with him, and allowed the Gargoyle and the Hemomancer to get that work done.
I'm pretty sure Zeus in that one fight did more damage than Berserker in the entirety of last game.
Oh, God.
He did like 9, if that was correct, like 9.3k. Yeah. That's more, right?
Yeah, I would say that's more.
Oh,
but that's more than a lot of people do in a whole game. That's more than a support does in 4 games. In one team fight. Okay, HLE, a swift 2-0, an eclectic composition, but one that really does let us know that Chemtech Soul is often undervalued.
I also think that maybe, that's like a game 4 thing.
It might have been a bridge too far or something like that. Renata going to come in, and so going to be able to deal with the Rakan relatively effectively.
Why?
What does it all mean?
Keen is playing on the range, right? Like
he is, yeah. All right, Canyon will be just completing his next full clear. He's going to be the Grump going down. We'll see whether he does actually elect to go for anything. As we can see, the Mountain Drake has already been started by T1. Owner in position.
Yeah, we have kind of opposite stories here, where on Gen.G, Keen is going to try and apply as much pressure in lane as he can.
Sometimes all you need to do is throw a rock at it, and that's going to solve your problems. I wouldn't use that at all in real
Great life advice, Atlas.
Yeah, not very good life advice. As Chovy not wanting to face check Faker, who's charming, but not charming enough against this guy's Zia. And Owner will be able to secure the majority of the grubs in the end. So that is going to be kill credit. 2 objectives already done.
Looking for a punish here towards Doran. Wanting to let this dragon go. Knows T1 is always going to play for that.
Yep. Over he goes. Canyon just going to drive the Scion back. And remember, he used the ulti to get to lane. So he's just going to get impaled and destroyed. That's going to be first blood going over to Canyon. They do trade the dragon for it, but as you said, maybe not necessary to exactly fight for that one. As another Chemtech or Orcs, what the heck, dude? You're in the space right now.
You know, in a much more spot. I think that generally those games are slower. And then in game 5, it's the pressure. Faker
He just slammed into the wall. The impale as well. He had absolutely no option. Nothing he was allowed to do. Explodes on the other side of the map is kind of, I assume, what they're going to try and do here. As the charm is going to connect onto Canyon, who's looking to drive away. Faker gets in front of him. Great handshake to keep him in position. But not too much more is going to come through. And this is what happens when he takes all of the kills. It's going to be a charm connecting. Chains of Corruption come down as well with the target presented. And Keen, he's definitely killable as out goes Ona. And they're able to just take the Jace from underneath the unkillable Skarner.
Thinking, well, Canyon's out. I should be fine as well. The re-engage.
Oh dear, Duro flashing for it. Does find the charm. Hostile takeover is fantastic though as Ona possibly separated, but in goes Chovy. Gumayusi not going to get bailed out of this one as Ona gets on top of the Emperor. And the knock-up is there. The 1-2 punches from Gen.G are continuing as finally down goes the Skarner. But I don't know whether Doran is going to be able to do much more. The flash comes out from Chovy to answer. The flash forward from Doran. And Gen.G will find the team fight victory, and the Rift Herald wasn't even taken.
Trade that I think Gen.G are going to be really happy with. Also, a lot of sums used, and that means no flash for Guma at the Rift fight.
We are fighting immediately as Ona goes in. Already Keen is down, and there goes Duro as well. Out will go Gen.G. They're trying to escape, but Faker, he is just spirit rushing after Chovy. The charm once again going to miss, and it's a two-man impale, but there's no one left. Ona will finally, Ruler, will finally come in to try and hit Ona, but Ruler's out. He realizes that it's getting too hot in the kitchen as the flash charm doesn't land. And Chovy will be able to make it out alive. My God, okay, Chovy goes in! He finds Gumayusi and he's looking to try and make his way out those grass backs. Really working overtime, but now he may have put his team in an uncomfortable position. It's Ruler versus 4, and T1 are still running away. You're exactly right, that Featherstorm is so powerful here. Okay, it wasn't Alfred in that move, dude. He was in a different one.
That's fine, it's the same character.
Yeah, fair enough.
So much. So it starts off this.
It's going to be attempted again. The amount of ground we got as far as objectives were concerned was 0. But now T1 with the positional advantage, they will be able to take it down. The Dragon was secured by Gen.G. That's all he wants to do, actually, Chronicler. The problem is he might be in range of the Frozen Heart, which could be a problem. Charm is going to come on through as Ona is going to be discovered here as Canyon holds him in place, but this is just a 1v1 happening in 2 different spots. Emperor's Divide to get rid of him as Chovy says, get away from me. And he says yes. Crescent Guard going to keep Ona alive, and in the end, it's a stalemate.
What I want to highlight, though, is that even though that fight ended up feeling good for Gen.G, because of the kills at the beginning, the gold lead still shrunk. Right after that whole sequence, this, though, with Owner not having his ultimate and have it to back, I think this Otacon is always going to be gone.
Yep, there's a train.
It's the fight afterwards, though.
You're exactly right. So it should be this Otacon going down, but there is the flash forward. A phenomenal knock-up from Doran, and he's getting in amongst it. Canyon trying to drive his way out. Let's see whether Ruler can keep himself alive as the Featherstorm comes in. He flashes away. Will he have the Blade Caller? That's the question. As Gumayusi's underneath the turret, he's got the bailout. He is still going to die, as now Keen is trying to get the work done. And yes, you got the Otacon, but it's a 1 for 3.
Win if Gen.G gets to use the fighting. This time Chovy is just caught, not ready. And there's no smite, so the objective goes to Gen.G, but the mid lane turret falls. The kills are traded, and T1 rather do a great job of making this gold lead just a little bit smaller as Canyon.
Yeah, looks for the impale.
Point going over.
Yeah.
T1 not giving them an open, went down to 1.
Goes down to 1, yeah. The charm is going to miss once again, though, as now fight on a couple of different fronts, as flipping in is Keen and trying to throw away Doran, but he's a brick wall. And now the knock-up comes through again, but if you're engaging onto the Scion, it's what T1 wants, unless they're not able to find an inroad. And Doran, he'll try to get bailed out. They will take the Rakan, and the bailout actually works. And now Chovy's trying to free hit. Owner is down so incredibly low. The Shock Plus, they're going to defend him. But still this turret is going to fall. Chovy trying to find the Sand Soldier damage. And they clear out the minion wave. And T1 will be sticking around. It's a 1 for nothing in favor of T1. They take the Dragon as well. They're trading up. The gold is still there for Gen.G. But T1 are still getting what they want in this game.
It's a thriller, Atlas. Canyon still is his Impale, is going to try and deliver Owner. Yep.
Beautiful, beautiful Impale. Still, Keen's going to get traded. It's just trades everywhere. Faker able to pick that one up. Now the hostile takeover, just zoning them away. Ruler doing a fair bit of damage here as they're just looking to steal away a bread buff. They will be able to do that as Faker just cannot jump Chovy today. He can't do it. Canyon goes in. He's going to go out via the Death Chamber, and Chovy will find an Emperor's Divide onto 3, but doesn't get Guma, and he will take him down. Ruler here going to have to use a max range ulti, avoiding Faker's damage as well, as Ruler's positioning has been fantastic with that Blade Caller. Could have been better. And Gen.G, they will keep a couple alive, but once again, it's a great trade for
those 3 dragons. And Gen.G, if they can get an actual team fight where they can use the power, there it is. Lord Dom's done for Ruler now.
Tower goes down in the mid lane as well, so inner turret now missing. Going to extend that gold lead. As Keen wanting to take some pot shots if he can. But look at this, the Doran stand in front of it tactic.
Yeah, they do need Chovy or Ruler. No one else is going to
carry on. So flash forward as Faker is caught out, and they dive on top of him, but the counter knock-ups are fantastic. Emperor's Divide only onto Owner is good for T1 as Gumayusi looking to get bailed out, and it's going to work. And the charm this time lands. Double kill for Gumayusi, and T1 just leave them in the dirt. Ruler's wondering what the heck happened. And he will use his ult, he will try, but the blade calls nothing. And T1 say it's Baron time.
I'm shocked. I thought they were going to actually look for the end. I've seen T1 do this a million times, but no, instead, they play it safe. We go for Baron, we go for Soul, as Gen.G. That ult from Keria, I think, ends up being the game decider. This Renata has been such an incredible nuisance for Gen.G. I want you to look at the health bars and the bailout value.
Behind in gold the entire game, but that stops now, as it is over 4,000 the lead for them at this stage.
Oh, the win streak of Gen.G.
Yep, remember 18 games and past this. As T1 here in this first game are looking poised to win. Charm going to go wide as Chovy finds 3! The Impale does as well, and Ruler is just able to free hit. Down goes Gumayusi. They deal with the turret, but Doran is so incredibly low. Chovy is still going to die in this fight. Canyon is just trying to keep them interested as T1 look to back away. He said was the situation isn't that bad. That's basically what he said.
It's true.
He's going to find a Charm. This situation's bad, but if you're a Gen.G fan, as they eliminate the jungler, as he's all the way in. Owner taking some shock blast damage, but he doesn't really care about it too much. Remember, Chemtech Soul going to be powerful here as T1 wastes no time. They've started this up. Doran just trying to stand in front. It's looking a little 50-50-ish for now.
As on the ward.
Yeah, spotted on a flank angle, but they also know he's there because they just got hit by a shock blast.
Are we flipping? Are we flipping?
Oh god, we are. We're flipping. It's going to be Canyon that locks down the dragon. Owner is in so much trouble. Empress Divide picks them all up, and it's Gen.G that finds the value. Chovy can rest easy now as 4 are lying on the floor, and Doran is not going to be able to do it alone. Gen.G not going to be broken in their win streak. They'll move it to 19 instead.
The hardest part of any story is the ending.
It's not even the end, Chronicler.
No, I mean of this game.
It's game 1 of regular season Gen.G versus T1 round 2.
Oh my god. No, but like, that can't be. It's just a flip. Canyon wins. The game is done.
Do you know what it was, Chronicler? It was a flip. Canyon wins. And that's game 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the Nexus will be taken down.
T1 have a composition that excel at just taking out Jhin. So the rest of Gen.G is going to have to do some lifting in the damage. But I want to see Sunfires. I want to see Canyon building a lot of damage. I want to see Chovy with an aggressive build. Well, because Keen and Chovy both want to base.
Yeah,
Chovy's not being allowed to base. Yeah, this dragon is not going.
Arrow.
Not happening.
Will fly down, and it does just, you know, they scout the river. And that is just going to be thanks for the leash for T1. Canyon? Wait a second. Oh my god, no, you're not allowed to do that. Well, you're not allowed to get away. That is absolutely true. And in fact, it is. As the teleport comes in from the Galio, And Chovy finds the Justice Punch. There's a great Cyclone, but a good Pulverize is there as well.
I don't know. Wait until we have like 2 items and then we can maybe play the game.
Chovy's under the turret. Okay, Curtains. Faker. Gonna get hit by the last one as Chovy flashes for it and shuts down the GOAT. And also had a cow waiting at the wings.
Number 1. Guma doesn't have his though. But yeah, Gen.G's just like, nope.
Yep.
They have time, right? Like, because that steal. They're not in any pressure at all, which is why Atlas, previous game, felt like there was build-up, and then all of a sudden it exploded.
Oh, there it is. There's the Rumble on the bottom side of the map. As Gumayushi going to get headbutted, takes an arrow straight to the face. Doesn't actually have to use the ulti, though. That's kind of a big deal. I was expecting him to maybe be forced to use that by overextending a little.
Oh, this comp is hard to engage into. Keria is also looking for a cancel on the ultimate for Keen, I'm sure.
The Rumble very far away, but Faker can also cancel the ultimate, depending on how well they position themselves. Is okay. Equalizer doing basically nothing. Shockwave onto 3, though. That's fantastic, but still, Keen able to burn them down. The Rift Herald going to be secured as Canyon picks up the eye. Chovy might be the sacrifice as he looks to try and Justice Punch his way forward as Canyon just rolls himself a taxi and gets the heck out of there. Oh my, are you gonna go for a charge as well? Takes the turret, and he's still gonna die. Gets a flash out from Keria. Oh, you get back into, you are not allowed to do that. And he's not, he's still going to die.
Look at his face!
My God, that was amazing. Yeah, look at that grin. Abilities, right? Like right now, he is largely lethality with the Ghost Blade now done. As Keen just going to be breathing some fire.
That's Prio. Can TP to the wave or to one of the traps. They're gonna
wait a second.
Look for the cross map.
It's the Faker Global Taunt. The train is being called. The Brittle comes through. He flashes and still gets knocked up. Collects them with the Shockwave, but doesn't really matter here as T1 will look for the first Cloud Drake of the game. They'll get that, but it's only their second Dragon. Gen.G, they get their prize. They're looking to lock down even more as the Otacon is being started.
Keen and Chovy, or Chovy's here, Keen has TP. He's gonna back first, but Canyon did ult.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
Oh, Rudo has ult though. They're squishy. Oh yeah, they're gonna go for this fight.
Yep, teleport going to come in. Canyon, not quite close enough, but still, arrow connects onto Chovy. Let's see, there's some brilliant knock-up. Another one, four-man. The jumping castle has been picked up, and there is the Otacon secured by T1, but can they get anyone out alive? Keria, that's a no. Doran, that's also a no. But at least Gumayushi and Ona will stay standing, and they have the permanent buff.
Ultimate switch. Outside of the top one on Faker, have universally just not been great. I'm fine. He's fine. He's okay. Duro's on the flank.
He is.
They know.
Who's on the flank?
Well, he's ult, so...
Well, he's going to have to ult. He will do that. Finds a Pulverize. There's the Deadly Flourish. It's Canyon waiting in the brush. He's like, buddy, I think you might be dead. He's going to have to flash. Does get out of the way. Hawkshot spots out the rest of Gen.G are there. And so Duro just slowly goes through every cooldown.
They do get soul point for Gen.G. It's just Dragonus. Oh, T1. That's a T1 bear. They definitely know, though, so I don't think he can really do this. And now I'm kind of wondering.
Yeah, somewhat deep
probably
is
needs to actually
commit. Keen is a difficult target to do damage to. They haven't done any yet. Oh, there it is, a little bit.
Well, his magic damage shield doesn't take any, but he does.
And there's Grand Starfall. There is also the Heroic Entrance. So, well, yeah, the more items that Ruler gets, the more scary things do become, especially when he does have this build that's going to be legitimately able to do damage.
Dean is on a flank angle on the Ornn. You have to be a little bit tricky about it because Keria otherwise can cancel it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. They just want to get the door. They want to get the door so bad.
Well, Keria isn't putting it up, but that does mean he's taking a lot of damage.
Yep, and he can't put it up, right? Especially not with Keen out of vision. Gonna get breathed on here by Ona just a little bit. The rest of T1 coming on over, trying to offer the damage if they can. Canyon wanting to assist, and he gets over the wall. There's the Cyclone. Canyon flashes out, takes so much damage, as now Keen calls the Ram, and of course Keria is there to block it. The Dragon is gonna get taken, and the Curtain Call is just gonna be unanswered. A four-man knockup yet again, as the Heroic Entrance this time does nothing, and the Justice Punch is blocked. Gen.G, they lose their Gargoyle. But it's just Gargoyle for Dragon. It's Elemental Animal in trade for one another. And once again, we have a relatively even trade. Absolutely not. As Chovy going to be able to pick up this wave towards the bottom side of the map.
So Soul is imminent now for Gen.G.
Yep.
But they don't have it yet. And also, unlike an Infernal Soul Hex deck, I don't think this wins you the game automatically.
Oh no. It doesn't solve the damage issues. It gives them positional options, absolutely. And of course, like, Chovy from here on out is probably just going to be building damage, right? So the Galio is going to get more and more scary, but Keen is going to get less and less relevant as far as his damage is concerned. Ruler does have the Lord Dom.
Oh, the window.
Yeah.
Here for T1, Canyon might have to sacrifice his life.
Well, there is the Grand Starfall. Okay, Call of the Forge God as well gets a triple knock-up, and the steal on the Baron for Canyon at the same time. He's got a GA, the curtains are being called, and maybe it's on more than just this Baron fight. Maybe this is the game winner, as Faker is getting encroached on, will get taken down, and Doran, he only has a sliver left, and the Deadly Flourish, it's named pretty well, but that last bullet, that's going to do it, and the poor man with a door is unable to hold it here for T1.
Who needs more damage dealers when you have Ruler on the chin? So much damage, but for me, those steals from Canyon Atlas.
My
the
goodness.
Timing, absolutely perfect.
And this time around, the Braum wasn't there. He wasn't there to block the train. And Gen.G, they just drove right over the top of T1. They'll take down these Nexus turrets. They will move their record here, their LCK record, to 20 games in a row. And they will continue to make history here in the LCK. They are not stopping here today.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.